Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Facebook Live today for another fantastic session. Today we'll be having a Q&A, so it's a great opportunity for you all to get out all your genealogy questions. Let's try and stump Daniel. Come up with those difficult questions that you've been wanting to ask about my heritage, about genealogy in general, about DNA. And we hope to be able to get to a lot of the questions that you can come up with. I see a great crowd here in our audience. We have Kelly from Oklahoma. We have Joanne from Ontario, Kevin from Scotland. Oh, sorry, from New Scotland in Albany, New York, not Scotland. Marion from Waterloo, Ontario, Joy from Florida. If you haven't written to us yet to let us know where you're joining us from, please do. We hope that we're catching you at a good time of the day. We're trying to have some different sessions at different times so that we get our viewers from all over the world. So we're so glad that you're all joining us today. Welcome. For anyone who's joining us for the first time, we do Facebook Lives on the MyHeritage Facebook channel to bring you educational content and to build the MyHeritage community, bringing you speakers from all over the world, speakers that are experts in different fields, whether it be genealogy or DNA, or MyHeritage employees who have worked hard on MyHeritage products and want to teach you a little bit more about them. And if you want to go back and watch all of our previous Facebook Lives, you can do so. They're all on the MyHeritage Facebook page under the videos section. Lots and lots of fantastic content there. So we encourage you all to go and check it out. And we have a great session for you today as well. Before I introduce our speaker, I want to just let you know about a draw that we have today. We'll be giving away a MyHeritage Complete Plan. And the MyHeritage Complete Plan is the best plan we have to offer at MyHeritage. It gives you unlimited access to 12.7, I believe we're up to 13 billion historical records. That's 13 billion historical records. As well, it will give you unlimited family tree size and access to the MyHeritage photo tools. That's the MyHeritage Photo Enhancer and MyHeritage in Color. So really a fantastic prize. So in order to be entered in today's draw, all that you have to do is leave a question for Daniel, a question, something you want to learn more about, something that you've been wondering, something you want to know, whether it's about a feature on MyHeritage, how it works, or what are the best practices when it comes to something in genealogy. Just let us know. Leave a question in the comments section, and we hope to get to as many comments as we can today. I'm not sure we'll be able to get to every single one. We'll see how many come in. So I'm now going to introduce our speaker. Oh, sorry, just as you were coughing. Sorry, Daniel.
No problem. I think nobody saw me, so we are good. Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year, Esther. How's everybody? I'm seeing here some of already known names, and thank you very much for all of you coming here to this Facebook Live. Are you all right, Esther? It seems a little bit frozen. Maybe too cold over there?
Sorry, Daniel. I just got disconnected. I guess there's always internet problems, no matter how hard you try.
We were just having fun without you here, so no worries. I was just saying that I'm very happy to be back in this new year. Very excited for all the recount of things that MyHeritage did during 2020, and especially those Facebook Live and the plans that we have for 2021. Very big things coming up down the line. And I also was thanking all the names that I recognize in the chat. Good old friends and new friends as well. And I'm very happy to see everybody at this time. So I heard that we have a raffle today at the end of the session. So feel free to write your questions. I also heard Esther is having internet troubles, so we will overcome them as well with no problem. And Esther, I'm seeing already a few questions coming in. I don't know if you want to start moderating them, and I will start
Sure.
kicking them.
Sure. Sorry for the slight connectivity issues, but I think we're good to go now. Hopefully, we won't have any more problems. So I just want to say, Daniel's been working on MyHeritage for how long is it now, Daniel?
I stopped counting already, but people, I think they say, what, 13, 14 years? I know that I started in 2006. So it's quite a long time already, but I'm having fun every day more and more.
Fantastic. So if you have a question for Daniel, he'll hopefully know the answer. And please put your questions in the comments, and we'll start asking your questions. So we'll start with a question from Marcia, and she asks, "Can I completely replace a tree on MyHeritage with an updated version that I have on Ancestry?"
Okay, so the short answer is yes, definitely you can do that. But here comes the caveats. If you have a DNA, one or more DNA associated with that tree, you need to be careful because the moment that you delete that tree, all those DNA kits are going to be orphans. So you will not be able to know which one is which. So I will suggest you to follow the following procedure. Take from whatever you have your tree, probably in a JETCOM format, you upload it to MyHeritage. At this point, you will have two family trees. Then you go to the DNA kits, and into the DNA menu, there is a manage DNA, and you reassign those DNA kits to the new profiles of the people in your new tree. Up till here, everything's good. Once you're sure you have associated all the DNA, then you can go to manage trees under family tree and delete the old tree. Now, there is a second notice that I need to say here is that all the smart matches and record matches that you have worked hard updating, accepting, and extracting information, all those are going to be recalculated again from scratch. So be aware that you will need to dedicate some time probably accepting or reaccepting all those matches. Besides those two things, yes, definitely you can upload multiple times the same tree, or you can have different trees on your MyHeritage account with no problem. To avoid those two things, I will suggest you, after you uploaded the tree, try to keep the MyHeritage tree as your main one. And then if you want, you could export that tree and upload it to other places to keep them updated. But that is already up to you. Any other questions, Esther?
Okay, great. Lots of more questions, Daniel. Don't worry.
Keep them coming.
This one is kind of connected. It just came in, so I'll read it from Tina. She says, "What are your thoughts on having multiple trees, one for biological family, one for adopted family? I saw on another site that you should only have one tree." And I know this question comes up almost in every Q&A that we do. Best procedures. Some people like to have, one tree for everyone, the big extended family. Others like just one for, the small nuclear family, and then another one for the extended family. So what do you suggest, Daniel?
So definitely, first of all, is your tree, Tina, and you are allowed to have it and keep it as you want first. Now, you're asking me. My opinion is to have one family tree, only one for as many ancestors you have. Yes, probably in your case, if you have an adoptive family, it will be better to keep those apart. But you could do that, or you could add another set of parents and have them as adoptive parents and keep everything into one tree. Anyhow, probably you're going to have it in the same website. So it doesn't matter very much for privacy issues. Whenever you invite people to your website, they will be able to view both trees or both branches, let's call it like that, from the tree. I do know a lot of people like to have their paternal side divided from the maternal side. I'm kind of opposed to that. My family tree is actually not my family tree, is my kids' family tree. So I have both my side and my wife's side in the same family tree. I think it's easier to manage it all with one tree. But again, probably thinking it up loud, if you are adopted and if you would like to have your biological family separate than your adopted family, you can do that with no problem.
Okay, we have a question here from. Oh, sorry. Okay, we have
From?
a question here from Christina, and she asks, "I had my father's DNA done through MyHeritage. Wondering if it would be beneficial to have my DNA done too."
Wait, say that again?
Her father's DNA was taken through MyHeritage, through a
Okay.
MyHeritage test. And so she wants to know what's the advantage of her getting her own DNA tested as well.
Okay.
Which is actually similar to another question that I saw here. We'll just ask it at the same time.
Two for the price of one.
We had a question here where somebody asked if both their children have the same mother and the same father, is there any reason to test both of their DNA, both children?
Okay. So probably before I answer the question, I should explain very fast and easy how DNA is passed from ancestors to descendants, meaning from your parents to you or from you to your kids. You will always be getting 50% of the DNA from each of the parents, meaning 50% of my DNA belongs to my mother, 50% of my DNA belongs to my father. So if I already have my father or my mother DNA in the website, in MyHeritage, I already have 50% of my DNA, and actually it's a little bit better because, again, I will only have 50% of my father, while my father will have 100% of his DNA. What I am missing right now will be my maternal side, my maternal DNA. So definitely the best is to test the oldest relative. If for whatever reason your parents or even your grandparents are not available, then yes, you can test yourself. And then the advantage will be that under the common matches, you will be able to detect common matches together with your father, and those are obviously coming from your paternal side. All those common matches that don't have your father in them means that those are from your maternal side. So that is a way to understand more those common matches from which side of the family they are coming. Now, should I test me and all my siblings or my 2, 3, 4, 5 kids? Well, that will depend exactly on what you are looking for. Because, yes, every kid will have 50% of my DNA and 50% of my spouse DNA, but not necessarily the same 50%. So, depending, again, very specific cases, if you're looking for something very specific, you may need to test more than one sibling. Most of the cases, one sibling is enough. Two is always better. The more the better, the more the merrier, of course, as they say. But it all depends on the matches that you are getting and the results that you are getting. Now, let's go back to the case that I would like to analyze my grandfather's, let's say my maternal grandfather's lineage, and I don't have him or my parents to test. I can do collateral DNA, meaning descendants of the same ancestor, and they all will have a little bit of the percentage of their DNA. So in that case, I will want to have more samples to be able to collect, like to have like more DNA from that specific ancestor to be able to find the matches.
Okay, and this is a question from Sandy. Is it a good idea to get DNA on MyHeritage and also on Ancestry? Is that worthwhile? So it's a good opportunity for us to talk about the upload feature, which we have. Daniel, do you want to go into that?
With more than pleasure, making first the notice that I am a genealogist. And yes, same as DNA and family tree, you need to be all over and have your information all over, because you never know where your link is going to jump. So, yeah, you can bring to MyHeritage also any kit from any of the companies out there, as long as it's an autosomal test. And most of the companies out there have an autosomal test, and you can export from MyHeritage and you can import also from other companies as well with no problem.
Okay, great. So always wise to upload your DNA and fish in all the different ponds, as we like to say.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. This is a great question, and it has to do with best practices and, research methods, something that I think you've probably been doing for years, Daniel, as an experienced genealogist. So the question is from Danita, and she asks, what is your best suggestion for staying on track? I have a habit of starting one person and then I drift different ways. Also with the smart matches, when it says it will add this many relatives to your tree, where does that go? I have the same problem, Danita. It's the problem with multitaskers, I think.
No, it's actually the problem of genealogists and good websites like MyHeritage that always throw at us different pieces of information. Definitely, I will suggest you to keep a log and to try to stick with one branch of the family at the time, or one person at the time. Normally, what I do is I take advantage of the emails that MyHeritage sends me, and I go into one specific match, if it's smart matches or record matches. Record matches, either I go to one specific person or I want to one specific collection, and that helped me focus a little bit more. On the smart matches, again, one person or one website, because what I have found is that sometimes cousins, distant cousins, or other people are researching the same branch. So the matches that I'm going to have with that other person are going to come mostly from the same branch of the of my tree, and that will help me keep focus over there. The other trick will be to dedicate different days to different families. I have a specific day on the week. I take time for my Horowitzes, which is my paternal side. Sometimes I take it for my Singers or for my Pollacks. And definitely, I cannot avoid, and the bad news is probably you will not be able to avoid the occasional uh, genealogy information. Sometimes we receive a phone call, sometimes we just discover something in the family, something happened in the family that throw us in one direction, and that is the way we do it.
Okay. Let's see, a lot of great questions. Christina says, thank you, Daniel, for answering my questions. So love these live broadcasts. Thank you, Christina. So nice to hear. We love hearing that feedback. Um, let's see. We have a bunch more questions. Megan asks, I don't have any theories of relativity. Does that mean there are errors in my tree? So, Daniel, if you don't mind explaining first to anyone who doesn't know what a theory of family relativity is and what it means if you don't have any, or how you can make sure that you'll have the best chances to get some.
For sure, and with pleasure, Esther. And I'm going to take that question to go to jump into another subject of a question I saw early in the chat. So first, what is a theory of family relativity? Very easy, actually. It's a path. It's the route between you and a DNA match that you have that MyHeritage calculated for you. The way it worked is that MyHeritage took all the family trees and all the records and all the information that we have, and we try to find how you and your DNA match are related. Now, obviously, you will be related in more than one way because, cousins intermarried with each other, and after a few generations, other family members also mixed in. So, normally, you will be able to find at least one path and one way to relate you to your DNA match. Now, sometimes we don't find that path or that way. And no, it doesn't mean your tree is incorrect. It actually means that we are missing a little bit of information. And that could be because if you go back 4 or 5 generations, not everybody has all the details in the family tree. And just imagine that your great grandfather is John Smith. I'm pretty sure you know how many John Smiths are out there, and we need to have more than just a simple first name and last name in order to be able to connect you to the other person. So probably it's not that your tree or other people's trees are wrong, is that they may be like they're not complete or not with full details. Every time we add more trees and we add more records, we keep calculating those theories. And every now and then, every 2 3 months, we release a new set of theories. So hopefully, if you don't have a theory yet, in the next batch, we will present you with a theory of relativity. So what you can do until then: A, you can continue researching and expanding the people in your tree. And this is why it's so important to have as many people as you can, even if they are not your direct relative, your direct ancestors, because we may find a connection through, let's say, the wife of your second cousin twice removed father. Okay, just to make it sound complicated or far away from you, but still that lead may be able to connect to another record and to another tree in order to get to that DNA person. Sometimes also you need to take in account that the theory may be wrong. And again, it may not be because of your tree. It may be because the records or the trees in the middle are not accurate enough. But for sure, the other person, it is a DNA match for you 100%. Another thing that you can do, and this is the part where I jump to the other question I read before in the chat, is the consistency checker. The consistency checker is a feature that MyHeritage has to check the facts that you have in your family tree. For example, you may have a living individual who is going to have an 120 birthday next month. I'm pretty sure that guy died a long time ago. You may have somebody being a father at the age of 5 years old. That will be a miracle. It's almost sure a mistake was done in the family tree. And like that, you have on MyHeritage about 36 different possible mistakes or errors that you may have in your family tree that MyHeritage checks for you and alert you about those ones. When you have a kid that was born 3 years after the death of the parents, definitely that's a mistake. So go ahead, check under the family tree menu. You will find the check consistency, and you will be able to fix a few things right from there. Others you will need to go into the tree and fix it. And the better and the bigger that you have your tree, the better results you're going to get in all the aspects, both in the new theories that we hopefully will bring to you, and also the matches that for sure we are bringing you every week.
Great, thorough answer, Daniel. Thank you. We have a question here from Vicky, and she asks, please explain how I can print my family tree.
Oh, okay. That's actually a very easy one. Under family tree, and Esther, I don't know if I can and you allow me. Yes. You know what? Let's do this a little bit more visual.
Sure, let
Um,
me put your screen into the thing,
exactly.
put it in,
Uh,
and you can show everybody the best way to print a family tree. Sure.
yes. I was actually prepared for the chart,
There
so
we go.
everybody can see it. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. So what I'm doing here is under family tree, I'm going under more, and you have here print charts and books. This is definitely the best way to print your family tree. MyHeritage will give you a lot of options here. Maybe I will make this a little bit bigger. So MyHeritage will give you here a lot of options depending on how you want to print that. You may want a design that will have you with your spouse and both sides of the family and your descendants, or you just may want to have only your close family, your ancestors, your descendants. No matter how you want to print, you can generate a chart and print it from here without any problem. You can choose vertical or horizontal. I actually like more the vertical ones. We have also a fan chart and all in one. If you want to really print anybody and everybody in your chart, or in your tree, this is the way to go. Just one warning here, because if you have thousands and thousands of relative over there, this chart is going to be huge and probably a little bit complicated to follow. So once you have selected the type of chart that you want, you can then go and select the style of the chart. And MyHeritage has a lot of pre-designed styles for you. And then you customize that with the details you want, with the generations, with the way you want printed this. Now, the very good news, I think, is that you can go up here into my charts and you can see all your charts over there. As you can see, I have been playing around this with different styles and different types. You can download this in PDF form and you can print them without any problem. And you also have what we call the family book that will give you a summary of your family, and you will be able again to create it and to see a summary of all your research and how people are related with personal images. That is why I love always to have pictures for each individual over there. And a little bit further down, you will see also small pieces of the family tree so you can follow that family. This is how you can actually print your tree. And as I said, this is totally free. So you can experiment, you can play, you can see how it looks. And you can decide then at the end which one is the one that you want to print and download it and print it at home, or from any other printing company out there, or just use it to send it to somebody in the family as a gift. It could be a birthday or anniversary gift. And I'm pretty sure, I'm going to tell you, people are going to be very grateful for your work and your present.
Okay, thank you for that demonstration. We have a question here from Terry, and Terry asks, is it worthwhile to download my current tree and start from the beginning in the event that I have made a mistake without realizing it? Thank you, MyHeritage. So I guess fixing errors in the family tree is something that we hear a lot of questions about that. So what tips and advice do you have about that, Daniel? What makes a tree salvageable versus, start from scratch?
I will say that the factor here has to be the amount of people that you have in your tree. Probably up till 200, 300 people is something, as you said, salvageable. Just download a copy of a backup. Yes, that's totally the first step, no matter what you decide. And then you can start from scratch. Actually, after 15 years, I'm still fixing mistakes in my tree that I found every day. The problem is that I already have about 8,000 people in my tree, so I definitely don't want to start from scratch. Another way will be, again, in the case that you have many people as myself, just to go one by one of your ancestors and try to be very methodic and keep a log, as we were saying before, and going over all the documents and make sure you have all your citations, your sources, and all your facts straight. But if the tree is quite small, if you're talking about recent ancestors, not a line going till the 1700s, I think that it's very good, yes, to restart your genealogy. I know my good friend Thomas McKenty has the same policy of restarting your genealogy at some point, and you will definitely be improving that with everything you have learned up till today.
Okay, I see a question here from Linda. Is it possible to see this page with the Q&A later in the day? So yes, for anyone who's only joining in the middle or who has to run and can't make all of this Q&A, definitely all of our videos are available on the MyHeritage Facebook page under the video section. You can find all of them there. So you can rewatch this one as well as all of our previous Facebook Lives. Let's see, we have Adriana wrote, I love the tree printing features. Thanks for this reminder. I need to play with this again. Definitely, if you're spending more time at home lately, if you're confined indoors these days, definitely a good thing to play with, and work it out till you get exactly which person you want to make a chart for, which type of chart. Now's the time to definitely play around with that feature. Let's see. Cindy also says, I like how MyHeritage has a duplicate and error feature that helps find things you didn't realize were there. So that inconsistency checker is can be a lifesaver for many, finding those errors in your tree.
Yeah, and don't beat yourself too much if you find mistakes over there. Sometimes what happens is that we collect sources, and one document will say one thing and another document will say something different. And we just put everything on our tree without really checking if those facts are even possible. So not necessarily because it's a document, it means that it's 100% truth.
Agreed. Josh asks, I have one relative that was quoted numerous times in newspapers over a 20-year period. As a result, I've received tens of smart matches that are all the same. So first of all, you're very lucky, Josh. That's amazing to have a relative that is in many newspapers. Fantastic.
But you
Um,
didn't receive smart matches, you received record matches.
record matches, agreed. But he wrote, is there a way to confirm multiple selections at a time so I don't have to go into each, he wrote, smart match, which is extremely time consuming. So just for anyone who doesn't know the difference, a smart match is a match with all the other family trees that we have on MyHeritage. So that's matches from person to person. So it means that somebody in your tree, we found a match with somebody in another tree on MyHeritage. Whereas a record match, as Daniel was saying, it means that we found a record that matches somebody in your family tree. So Daniel, do you have advice for Josh?
Excellent explanation, Esther. And in fact, it's very important because smart matches, you can actually accept a bunch of smart matches for one person, or you can accept a bunch of smart matches coming from the same family tree. On the record part, or the record matches, it's a little bit more complicated because you will not be able to accept all the matches for one person at the like for more than one person at the time. We want you actually to go into every record and make sure that all the information that you have over there, it's accurate. On the smart matches, you may have more than one match for one individual, and we will allow you to accept all those matches in one shot, because you may not want, or you may not be gaining as many information, new information from your tree from the other person's tree. So unfortunately, Josh, you need to go one by one. But I do have, like, in my personal opinion, like, the newspapers gives you a wealth of information. Really, you can learn a lot about the life of one of your ancestors. But if he was very famous, and you have a lot of records from that person, probably I will just put them aside and will concentrate in the other record matches that you may have.
Okay, this is an interesting question that came in through YouTube. We also, oh, it seems like we've lost, oh, there we go,
I know,
Daniel.
I'm here. I'm here.
This question came in through YouTube. We have streaming there as well at the same time. And this question is from Judea, and he asked, does the MyHeritage DNA test work on post-mortem samples? I read where your test is the only one that can do this. How would you store the sample for testing? Dry environment or freezing?
Okay, so the short answer is no. Let me explain why. Because the sample is actually a cheek swab. We're not able to test hair, nails, tooth, skin, any other type of cells. And yes, they all have DNA. MyHeritage DNA test is based basically on saliva, but we also don't want you to spit on anything or anybody. That's kind of gross. So we give you two swabs that you need to rubber your inner cheek for 30 seconds and then put it in a little container that comes in the kit. So yeah, post-mortem, it will not work unless you have a way to rub the inner cheek of the person, like in the probably next hours after death. And I do know that some funeral homes actually offers you to take the DNA test from the person before they bury it, and before they prepare the body or the corpse to be buried. But if you have some hair, some toothbrushes, or nails from a deceased person, unfortunately, that will not work for the MyHeritage test.
Okay, we have a request here to show everyone. Cindy says, "Can you show them how that fact checker works?" I think she means the inconsistency checker. If you don't mind showing everybody, Daniel.
No, of course not. I just need to click a couple of buttons here, and you need to do your magic over there. And yes, just tell me to make sure when
we can see your screen now.
you can see my screen. So I'm coming into Family Tree, and here in the long menu, you have the consistency checker, and you will see there already all the mistakes that MyHeritage calculated the last time you visit this page. You can always recalculate this report with new additions that you may have done to your family tree. So here, for example, MyHeritage is alerting me that I have one person who is disconnected from my tree. For whatever reason, this person is floating around. I may have inconsistency in the last name spelling. As you can see, the name Smith, it appears to be misspelled in a couple of times or a couple of places. I can mistakes like this, I can actually fix it right from here. Just by clicking on this button, I will be fixing that mistake, and that is gone. Now, sometimes the mistake is not a mistake. Let's say that this was the way that Tara wrote her name. So you see on the right side, there is an X in the corner. I can actually click that and ignore that particular issue. And if I click here, MyHeritage will not remind me again about this fact. The other thing I can do, and I need to just put my mouse right in the upper right corner of the big area, and I can disable a specific check. And MyHeritage, as I said before, we have 36 different issues that could be errors, warnings, or notes that are for some reason bad in your tree. You can customize that. Um, Obviously, if somebody is alive after 110 years, probably that is a mistake. Or if it was a parent before the age of 14 or after the age of 74, that is a mistake. But let's say that in my family, a lot of people had kids in the 70s. I can change that to 80s with no problem. Also from here, I can actually um, deactivate a specific check. For example, my family love to have large spouse age difference. So I can tell MyHeritage not to alert me about those. And you can see that MyHeritage will actually alert me about a lot of things, things that probably it didn't even think about it, like sibling with the same first names, or death place resembles the cause of death, or double spaces in the names. Again, all this is with the idea to improve the quality and the information that you have in your tree.
Okay, we have a nice question here from Jimmy, and he asks, any suggestions if you've hit a dead end when it comes to researching a relative? So that famous brick wall that we always talk about. Where do you go from there, Daniel?
Well, I have to say that the question is a little bit ambiguous because I don't know what you did before. I can tell you, in general, try to get records. Birth, marriage, and death are the basic ones, but try to think of any other activity that the person had or did during their life. If the person is dead, and again, if you're assuming more than 100 years back, chances are that the person is dead. Try to find the burial place. Try to find the death certificate. DNA could also be a lead, but probably will work more better for people finding or looking for their biological families. Try to contact people in the place, in the city or the town where your relative were from. Probably they will have some records and some memories about your ancestors that you didn't thought about. Facebook, try to look for groups, Facebook or other places. Google the places, and sometimes those places have groups of people following the same area and studying the same area. One name studies also may be good to ask. Definitely asking other people always help. And even I, with all the years in genealogy, at some point I ask people, and I'm very grateful that I found very good leads for my research, things that I didn't knew before. And another idea is just leave it on a side for a couple of days, weeks, or months. Give it a rest. Dedicate to another branch. You may learn from another branch things that you can also apply to this brick wall. And don't feel bad. Like, I have a brick wall with my Horowitz, which is my paternal line, already for years. And I have been able to trace them back from the 1800s. So just keep your fingers crossed, and good luck with that.
Okay, great. Well, we'll take one last question before we get to the winner of the draw today. So the last question is from Andrew, and he says he uploaded a GEDCOM of his family tree. And if he clicks on the family tree on MyHeritage, he can see the living people. So he wants to know, how do you change the privacy settings? And obviously, as the site manager of the family site, he'll be able to see all the names. Correct, Daniel? How does he change the privacy settings, and what do they mean?
Okay, excellent. So yes, here I am actually going to share my screen again, Esther, because this needs to be seen. Give me just 1 second. Okay, first I would like to demonstrate how other people see your tree. Okay, and I am doing here a trick because I'm opening a browser in incognito mode, and I'm pasting the URL that I see from my website. Now, this means that whoever is not me will see my family tree like this. And this is the default privacy setting of MyHeritage, meaning living individuals are privatized, dead individuals are public. And you can see all the information about those dead individuals here with no problem. So this is one thing you should know. Now, how do you change the privacy settings of your tree? And you can change it either to open, so everybody can have a peek and see everything, or to close it so nobody will be able to see anything. Easy. Let's go to the upper right corner of the tree. You have over there the setting wheels, and you will see options. Okay, as soon as you click here on the setting wheels, the option menu is going to open, and you will notice that here in the bottom you have more options than the tree preferences. You will have the name preferences, and I'm going actually to the third option, which is the more actions. Right here, you will see the tree privacy settings. This is the easiest way to get to this section. Again, I click on the option or setting wheels on the upper right corner. I choose from the third option, more actions, and I got to the tree privacy settings. In here, you will have a lot to read and to decide. Not only how other people will see your tree, but also if you are enabling or disabling smart matches, if you are enabling or disabling uh, copy photos, members that can touch and change the information from your tree, or only admins can do that. And you have both content and access, and also your DNA preferences and your cookie preference, and you will be able to see everything and to decide here. Every one of those lines will have an explanation, so you will understand exactly what this means. And then after you have done your selection, and yes, well, you will not have as many here. I actually have a lot of family trees and a lot of websites here. You see also the members permission and the photos permissions here. You need to click save at the end of this list. So make sure that once you have made up your selections, click save, and that will bring you back to the family, to the top of the page, and you can then just go back to your family tree and keep growing your tree.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. So now we will be giving away one MyHeritage Complete subscription. As I said before, this is the best plan that we have to offer. So it'll give you access to 13 billion historical records. It'll give you access to MyHeritage color photo tools. That's MyHeritage in Color, the MyHeritage Photo Enhancer, unlimited family tree size, many tools, many additional features. So really a fantastic plan. We actually now also offer it as a gift subscription. So you can purchase a gift subscription for a friend or a family member to help them advance their family history research. And you can buy that either as a 6-month plan for a friend or family, or for a year plan. So just so that you all know that that's available for birthdays, for Valentine's Day coming up, for any event that you can think of. So just so that you know about it. So today's plan, today's winner is Adriana Gormley. And Adriana wrote us, "I love the tree printing features. Thanks for the reminder. I need to play with this again." So congratulations, Adriana, and we'll be in touch with you through private message to claim your prize. Thank you, all of you, for coming to our Facebook Live today. We'll hope we'll see you many more times at all of our other Facebook Lives that we have coming up. You can visit our blog, blog.myheritage.com, for more information about all of our upcoming Facebook Lives. And thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you for joining us today.
With pleasure, always, Esther. You know that I love to do this, as well as the experts, which I am going to restart with them every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and I hope to see you all over there as well. And yeah, best of luck with your research.
And I see there's lots and lots of other questions, so we will have to have you back sometime soon to get to even more of them.
With pleasure.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a great day.